everyone, welcome back. I'm Mel.
And I'm Claire.
And together we are
the Salty Hoes.
So today we're going to get into some fun Mormon dietary practices. But before we get into that, let's check in. Claire, how was your week?
It was pretty good. It was not bad. And I believe we had a common occurrence this week.
Oh, are you talking about the day spa?
Yes.
Oh my God, I got Paulina.
We got Paulina.
It was divine, as always.
Always. Oh my gosh, it's always a treat to go see our wee Paulina.
What did you get done? The usual?
Well, I actually added in a mini glow and go. I can't say that.
Glow and go facial.
Yes.
I did that too this week. I love it. Oh my God.
My God. And we have to point something out because we have both gotten this facial for like quite some time over the years.
Yeah.
And all of her products smell amazing, but they smelled extra amazing this time. And girl came out with a whole brand.
I know, and she's been holding out on us.
Mm-hmm.
So, Paulina, girl, you gotta promote yourself more. Your stuff is amazing, and I didn't even know it was yours.
I had no idea because when she was doing it, I was like, "Oh my God, that smell! What is that?" And she's like, "Oh, it's like a drink of water for your face, and it does this and this." But like, it's like, girl, what was that? And she never identified that it is her own formula, her own line of skincare, with this most magnificent packaging. And
oh, it's so beautiful.
Yes.
Like, it's so posh and luxe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the products are amazing, but like the packaging is so cool too.
It's so cute. The wee pictures and the wee bags, and yeah.
Oh, she's so sweet. It's like we had to like deploy wild horses to drag it out of her that she has launched her own skincare brand, which is amazing.
That is the best description I've ever heard, but it's so accurate. It's like, girl, just tell us, which, I don't think we need to point out that we're not saying this from prompting from her, but we're just like, girl needs a shout out. Like, she has this magical kingdom on 9th and 9th in Salt Lake City, and everybody needs to go.
Yeah, go check it out. So Spa Day at 9th and 9th is her place, and her brand is called Moonshine Versus Milk. So
amazing.
Hop in and give it a try.
Mm-hmm. It's so good. And yeah, we pointed out in our Utah Beauty Standards episode that, you and I are a little challenged in this area.
What do you mean?
In terms of like... We missed that gene in terms of like, honing in on the what do we need to do, or and Paulina has helped us.
Yeah, I feel like there's a developmental psychology angle here. Like, are you familiar with this idea? I'm sure you are, of like the critical period, right, of development where like if you don't develop language by a certain age, you're never really going to develop it. I feel like we missed the window for beauty standards.
Like when the teens were experimenting, I just didn't.
I was like, what's makeup?
Yes. What is that stuff? Or we did, and Paulina is helping retrain us.
I know, we're doing like remedial, like beauty standards, not even 101, like 90 at this point.
Like not even intro. Yeah, we're not even ready for intro 2. We're just, well, I got a big compliment from my son this morning.
Aww.
So, because in addition to my facial, I got the brows and the eyelash stuff.
Oh, they look so good.
Oh, thank you. As like always, that's my little thing I get from her. And shout out to my son. I'm very proud he finally got his certificate in the mail for his associates. So,
oh, wow.
Before we came to record, I ran up and I was like, son, it's here. Like, I'm so proud. And I like cried a little because I'm a weirdo that way. And I was like, I'm so proud of you. Like, and he says, Mom, you can't cry. You're about to go out to do the podcast. And he's like, you're going to ruin your makeup. And I was like, son, I don't wear makeup. And he was like, but you've got your eye stuff on. I was like, no, I just got Paulina. And he was like, oh, that looks really good. Like, and this is like a 24-year-old like male, like who was like, don't cry, you're going to mess your makeup. So yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, I was actually shocked too when I found out you didn't wear eye makeup. I just thought you had a lot of mascara on, and it's not, which is incredible.
I woke up like this girl, like, thank you, Paulina. I take no credit whatsoever. So I didn't even know such things existed.
Right.
So yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, we love Paulina. Sorry, I just made a gross noise into the microphone because I was like going, oh, I did it again. I'm so sorry, everyone. Just go see Paulina.
Keep doing it. We'll remix it. It'll be funny. Just kidding.
A gross noise remix. Yeah.
Perfect.
We love our girl.
All right. Well, today we are going to get into some Mormon dietary practices.
Yeah.
And I think part of this comes from watching our girlies on The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, particularly their dirty soda addiction.
And I think that's a fair word to use.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, we're not throwing shade. They would say it themselves. I mean, it's a thing. And I feel like it was the precursor to that was like 64-ounce Maverick jugs that people would fill on their way to work.
Yes. My uncle used to do that. He would fill up a whole like 64 ounce of soda and then like refill it halfway through the day.
Wow.
I know. I had many questions, which I didn't ask him at the time, but like, how many times do you have to pee a day? Like,
I know. Right? Well, and also I'm going to get a little gross here, but like, are you burping constantly? Like, if I have any carbonation or even a beer, like I feel like burpy.
Super gassy, right?
Yes. Yeah. So like, are you just belching at work all day?
Or does it come out the other end?
Right? I don't like, tell us. We'd love to know. Yeah. You don't drink soda.
I do drink a little bit of soda, but not like a ton, right? I'm not like one of those Diet Coke girlies that's always drinking Diet Cokes, but I will have them on occasion. Yeah. My son really likes this diet root beer, so sometimes I'll drink that with him at home when we're just watching television or whatever.
Yeah, and I did not frame that question. I went, you don't drink soda? I should have said, do you drink soda?
Well, because you never see me running around with it. Like, I don't. It's not that much.
You don't have a 64-ounce Maverick habit.
God, no. And I've never been to Swig or any of the dirty soda places. But I guess we can get into that in a minute.
Yeah, I have been there. Because my youngest child is a Mormon soda addict also,
really? I didn't know that.
Lives in Chicago now and can't get access to the Mormon soda. So when she comes home to visit, it's like, can we go get Mormon sodas? That's like the first question.
Mormon sodas, I like that.
Yep. So I've actually had it sounds disgusting. What is it called? It's a Dr. Pepper thing, but it's got like the most name. I'll have to think about that. It'll come to me in the middle of this episode.
Okay,
but,
perfect. Because we're going to get back to the dirty sodas. But living in Chicago, I feel like there's been so much Secret Lives stuff coming out like in the last few weeks. But didn't Whitney Levitt just have a brand deal? I thought it was in Chicago.
Was it? Or is it?
To open a new dirty soda place. It's like a place I've never heard of, but I feel like it's not here in Utah.
Oh my God.
Right? Well, maybe it's in New York. I don't know.
I know, because it's confusing now.
The musical of
the music. Yes. But hey, any little entrepreneurs out there, let's go open dirty soda in Chicago, because I feel like it would work anywhere now.
I think it would kill, especially with all the exposure.
Yes, definitely. Let's do it.
Okay.
Little side hustle.
Yet another side hustle for you to add to your many, many successful businesses.
I don't know about that, but let's open it.
I love it.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So should we get into this Mormon stuff? So a lot of people know that Mormons don't drink. They don't smoke. And I think the one that really trips people up the most is they don't drink coffee or tea.
Yep. Like, do they drink herbal tea?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
So we can get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a black tea situation, right?
Yeah, black, green, white tea.
Oh, even green?
Yeah, because it all comes from the same plant.
Huh.
So it's like the tea leaves, like the true tea is banned. But
the true tea.
The true tea.
Church of the True Tea. I know,
it's the one true tea.
So we need to start a counter cult, I feel like.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
I think that would kill.
The Church of the True Tea.
The Church of the True Tea.
By Mel and Claire.
Amazing.
Wow.
Okay, so where does all this come from?
Well, I think you and I discovered in our research for this episode that it wasn't even like what we originally thought it was. So originally it was a revelation, February 27th, 1833, from Joseph Smith himself, who would have been in like his 30s at that point. I kind of never clocked that before either. Like, dude was young.
Pretty young, right?
Yeah.
Because I guess, I mean, I'm trying to remember the timeline because it's been a while, right?
Yeah.
The first vision is when he's a teenager.
Yeah.
But I feel like the timeline there is kind of sketched too, because there's like 4 or more different versions of the first vision that differ in some details.
Yeah.
So they might differ in time as well. And then he organizes the church, when, 1830? Is that right?
It's around then, because this is 1833. He gets this revelation.
Okay, so shortly thereafter.
Yeah. So he's young, like he's Secret Lives of Mormon Wives age group.
Oh my God, that's such a funny way to put it. That's so good.
I know. Like, he is like Jace or Dakota.
Ew.
Like,
well,
could you imagine them organizing an entire... I mean, it kind of makes a lot of sense, right? Because you might want to get with the young girlies when you're... Oh, that's a whole other episode, but yeah.
I think he was probably way more charismatic and therefore maybe more dangerous than any of our dad talk friends.
Yeah, because good looking. I've seen his death mask.
Yeah, really good looking and with like an insane amount of Riz, apparently.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I love that. Riz.
I'm trying to...
Riz and Chiz, apparently.
Yeah,
sorry.
so much.
Oh my God. I still have some religious trauma sneaking in where I'm like, am I going to get struck down for saying that? Did I just sin? I think I just sinned.
Oh my God.
Oh
that
God.
Is so funny.
Okay, sorry. Back to the actual Word of Wisdom, as it is called.
Yes, the Word of Wisdom.
Yes. So, which is, a big claim with the 20 to 30 something with no scientific background knowledge. So it's recorded now as section 89 of the Doctrine and Covenants, which is one of the additional scriptural books of the Mormons. And it wasn't until 18 years after that it was delivered as a talk by actually the patriarch of the church, John Smith. And during this talk, apparently President Brigham Young arose from the crowd. He arose.
I'm sorry.
I think dude was arisen a lot. With how many ladies he had going. But his different type of arisen proposed that all saints formally covenant, to abstain from tea, coffee, tobacco, whiskey, specifically mentioned, and all things mentioned in the Word of Wisdom. And that was 1852. And you came across another date fact.
I was digging into this just a little bit for this episode. And it turns out that, I mean, the way I learned it growing up was Joseph Smith had this revelation. And from then on, like, the church just practiced these, abstaining from tea, coffee, alcohol, tobacco, etc.
Yeah.
But it's actually a more complex story than that. So for actually many years, I would say a good 60 to 70 years after this happened, there was some pretty heterogeneous application of it. So, they did kind of commit to it with Brigham Young, but a lot of early church leaders all the way up to the very beginning of the 1900s, including the apostles, including the prophets, some of them would drink tea and coffee, didn't consider it to be a big deal. Lots and lots of people in the church did. And also, the prohibition on alcohol was sort of spottily applied, shall we say.
Yeah.
When the pioneers came across the plains and established their little kingdom, right, fleeing the United States because of their deviant sexual practices, right? Then they were trying to establish this new land in Utah, this new civilization. And part of that was cutting ties on being dependent on the East, right, on the United States. And so they tried to make or grow everything that they could here in Utah so they wouldn't have to purchase or trade for it. And some of the things that they did was start wineries and start beer breweries.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Brigham Young owned a bar in downtown Salt Lake for many years. Now, there was this idea that, maybe the bar was for non-Mormons that were passing through, right?
Whatever.
Might as well profit off it. But the fact of the matter is that even though the Word of Wisdom was a thing, it wasn't really universally applied until later in the church's history. Beer wasn't even included at first. So people were drinking beer. It wasn't a thing. It was really just whiskey and spirits that were prohibited. Wine is mentioned, but they were still using that in the sacrament at that time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That would have been a lot more fun.
Right?
Than the gross, like tap water. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, it's a tiny amount, but still,
Yeah.
beer and wine were still being consumed by the Mormons. It turns out that even though it was sort of a prohibition, it wasn't really until 1915 that men who drank alcohol or used tobacco were no longer allowed to be ordained to the Mormon priesthood.
Oh my God, that's not that long ago.
No. And
wow.
This might shock a lot of people. Our Mormon friends, it wasn't added as a requirement, this requirement to follow the word of wisdom for temple attendance until 1921. They didn't even ask about it. It was just an on your honor system, or like it wasn't really important enough to be considered something they would ask for a temple recommend.
Oh my God. My mind is blown here on many levels, because one little offshoot is like, wow, how very Jim Jones of them on the early settlement. Like, let's be separate, let's grow everything. Like that is very cult-like behavior. And yeah, also, can we ever be upset at Lisa Barlow again for owning a liquor like brand, given that Brigham Young owned a bar?
Girl, I was never upset at Lisa Barlow for that.
You're like, oh yeah, but you know, like the shame that everybody gives her in the group, or that we're like, oh my God, these women drink. Like, I never saw Mormonism like that. Like, maybe it's always been like that. There was a weird middle phase, and now they're bringing it back to.
I think it's coming back a little bit. It seems like Mormon 2.0 is actually a thing.
Yes.
Lisa's like, I don't care. Like, I'm Mormon. I drink. I own a tequila company. Who cares?
Yeah, and it almost seems more aligned with the establishment of the church.
I'm sure Lisa doesn't know this history. Well, maybe I'm selling her short. I don't think Lisa would be aware of this history, but you know what? What she's doing is in the grand old tradition of Mormonism back in the day.
It really is. Only it's a girly leading the charge instead of a man with however many wives.
Yeah, so it's not even Mormonism 2.0. It's like Mormonism 0.5.
Right? Going back to the roots.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I would argue that, like, you just told me a lot of stuff I never knew, and I was the bishop's wife. Like, you know?
Well, it's not like they really talk about it. It's not like you go to church and they're like, and now for a nuanced history of the word of wisdom.
Or there's like a wee plaque on Main Street. This is the bar that Brigham Young owned. Like,
yeah, we should probably dig into that a little bit more.
Yes, and go there and have a shot of whiskey.
I bet it doesn't exist anymore, but maybe somebody's like resurrected it.
Yeah, just knowing where it is. Like, what's there now? Is it still a bar? Okay, we're gonna do our best academic research on that.
Yeah, this will be a return and report situation.
Yes, we will return and report for sure. Oh my God.
I love it. Well, should we read through the actual scripture?
Yeah.
Like piece by piece and then talk about it?
Let's do it.
Okay, I love it. Do you have it up or shall I start reading?
I start reading because I have like, and we can compare and contrast. I have like the verbiage from LDS.org. So like the interpretation of it.
Love that.
But let's do a deep dive into the Doctrine and Covenants.
We're going to do a little close reading here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is Doctrine and Covenants, section 89, verse 1. Quote, a word of wisdom for the benefit of the council of high priests assembled in Kirtland and the church and also the saints in Zion. 2, to be sent greeting not by commandment or constraint, but by revelation and the word of wisdom showing forth the order and will of God in the temporal salvation of all saints in the last days. 3, given for a principle with promise adapted to the capacity of the weak and the weakest of all saints, who are or can be called saints.
Shade.
Yeah, that's kind of shady.
Yeah,
actually.
For you weak ass hoes out there, like,
right.
Wow.
Okay, so 4, behold, verily thus saith the Lord unto you, in consequence of evils and designs which do and will exist in the hearts of conspiring men in the last days, I have warned you and forewarned you by giving unto you this word of wisdom by revelation. 5, that inasmuch as any man drinketh wine or strong drink among you, behold, it is not good, neither meet in the sight of your Father, only in assembling yourselves together to offer up your sacraments before him. 6, and behold, this should be wine, yea, pure wine of the grape of the vine of your own make. 7, and again, strong drinks are not for the belly, but for the washing of your bodies. All right, let's stop there and dive in. So this is the prohibition on alcohol.
Mm-hmm. But are they saying there that it's still okay for the sacrament?
Yes.
Huh.
Definitely. And I'm fairly sure that for quite a while, they were using wine in the sacrament, similar to other Christian sects.
Wow. Yeah. A wee mimosa shot at sacrament meeting.
Ooh, I like it.
That would have been fun. Okay, so that's interesting because there's a little bit of shade in there, and there's also like an odd Armageddon or two reference in there too, with all good Mormon things like the last days.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a very millennial cult, right? I think in the early days of the church, it was pretty widely understood that Jesus was coming back and the world was going to end within the next decade or two.
Yeah.
Or at least by 1900. That was pretty evident from like all the early writings in the church.
He's a wee bit overdue.
A little bit.
I know. Like, yeah, wow, that's a whole other episode.
Yeah,
but
we
yeah,
definitely need to do an episode on that.
that used to scare the shit out of me.
Really?
Like, even as a grown-ass adult, I was like, Jesus is coming. Oh my God, it's going to be this week. And I haven't purchased enough vacuum-packed wheat from the church.
Right, because we got to haul it all the way back to Missouri, right?
Like, I really internalized that and kind of like a rule follower. And I was, yeah. Whew.
Okay. I love that. I do want to do a whole episode about the apocalypse, like the Mormon understanding of that.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of alcohol, so it's interesting how they call out wine and strong drinks separately. Beer is not mentioned, so it does seem consistent that people were drinking beer all the way through the early 1900s.
Well, and if Brother Brigham had a brewery and a bar on Main Street, like,
yeah.
The baby Jesus didn't command on the revenue stream.
Exactly.
Like, wow.
But when you grew up, I'm sure, like as me, it was just like completely prohibited, like no alcohol
blanket
whatsoever.
Banned.
Yeah.
A ban even. It was bad. Oh yeah. Oh my God. I can't talk today. Oh. Yes, that. Well, it's funny because growing up in Ireland too, people couldn't really comprehend of it, and they would say, oh, but you would have like a wee drink of wine with like your Christmas dinner, right? And you're like, no, like we don't at all. And they're like, but like if you were out or something, you'd have a wee glass of wine. And you're like, no, like they were grasping more the version of Mormonism we see now on, Secret Lives and Real Housewives. But yeah, it was just a blanket ban.
Yeah. Which isn't unique, right? Other religions prescribe alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Muslims generally don't drink alcohol.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure some do. It's like a big religion.
Just like Mormonism.
Mormonisms. Sure. So like, I don't want to like speak for that, but that's one religion that comes to mind that has a prohibition about alcohol.
It's not unusual.
It's not too unusual.
Yeah.
And I mean, it kind of makes some sense, I would say. It's pretty clear from a health perspective that alcohol is not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of a full stop.
Yeah. That I mean, some components of red wine or...
That's mostly been debunked, though.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not that good for you?
No.
It's never been good for me.
It's never been good for anyone.
Yeah.
Alcohol, just period, is not good for your health. Now, that being said, do I enjoy it? Yes, I do.
There's a lot of things that we know are not good for our health and we all enjoy it. So in moderation, it's all good. But I mean, yeah, I have not that I ever drank a lot, but I really barely drink it all now. And even one drink will kind of knock me out.
Yeah.
Like I feel the inflammation effects, shall we say, of it,
Yeah.
So
yeah, I feel that too if I've had a few drinks. It definitely affects sleep, right? And alcohol is a mild carcinogen, so it does increase your risk of cancer, especially like mouth and throat cancers.
Yeah.
So, from a health perspective, I think that the data is pretty clear that alcohol isn't good for you. Now, in terms of a religious prescription, is that the reason that that's in this? I mean, the scripture kind of suggests that might be the case a little bit later on, so maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, we'll assume goodness here.
Yeah.
They're hoping that we'll all be healthy and good, and yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All that stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of let that one go, I guess.
Yeah.
Some Mormons, I would say, take this a little far. I mean, shocker, right?
Really? Wow. Surprising that they would be extreme about anything.
Yeah, so for example, I know that some won't take like liquid cold medicine because it's an alcohol-based thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You actually reminded me of something that I did. I thought I was being really noble. When I lived in Ireland, as a late teen, young adult, I used to love this Chinese takeaway dish, and it was like chili chicken with white wine and something else.
Ooh,
it was really good. It was when I still ate meat, and I loved getting this. There's a there's a whole thing around Chinese takeaway in Ireland, but that's another story. And I love this. I am almost certain there was no actual wine in this dish. And also, when you cook wine, the alcohol evaporates, right? So it's like, it's just a flavor thing. So I stopped getting it.
Oh.
It was like when I was preparing for my temple marriage, I was like, thou shalt not eat of the chili chicken anymore. It was a self-imposed commandment. I want to be very clear. Like, nobody in church told me, but I thought as I was like getting ready for the temple, I should eliminate chili chicken with white wine.
You were so righteous.
I was so righteous.
I mean, I think that's a common theme we could probably come back to a couple of times, like this point that some Mormons like to take things real far.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, okay, here's the line. But I'm also going to like go way, way, way over the line and not eat like the chili chicken.
Yeah, I know.
Not drink cold medicine, even if I need it. So, and it gets a little extreme when we get to the coffee and tea. We're really going to dig into that some more.
Yes. And like that is still a point of a lot of discussion. And I also feel like, you know, it's framed in righteousness, but I think a lot of people just had anxiety. Like when I look back, I think that's probably, I really internalized, and maybe because I went to Catholic school too, that I would be immediately punished if I violated the rules. And so I don't know that I was trying to be super righteous. I was just afraid. And
that makes a lot of sense, especially knowing you.
Yes. Like, and I was just like, oh my God, like God will smite me for the chili chicken. And like, I really hope that he, she, they, whatever God is, was not concerning themselves with my chili chicken consumption.
I mean, I think that's a pretty depressing view of God, that you would care about your chili chicken consumption.
I mean, that sentence, like, and that you would also be like, they would be the type of person that would punish you with like illness or something because you had it.
I mean, I think it's consistent with a lot of, you know, with the understanding of God in the Mormon church, like based on a lot of other stuff too, not just the dietary practices.
It's just another one of those.
Yeah, it's like a harsh, vengeful, punishing God, or at least that's part of it, right? That's one strand that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that point about anxiety is really good. I think there's another, so this is an and, it's not a but. There's another category of Mormons who use it as virtue signaling.
100%.
Right? Like,
yes.
Okay, I can't do this, but I also won't do this because I'm so virtuous.
Yes. It's like, you know, we get ranked in our profession as standard or exceeds. And standard is 100% fine.
Yeah.
But, you know, they want the exceeds category.
Yes. I hate that.
Yes. That's, there definitely is that contingent for sure.
Okay, let's continue to the next one. So I'll just read one verse here. So this is verse 8, section 89 again. And again, tobacco is not for the body, neither for the belly, and is not good for man, but is an herb for bruises and all sick cattle to be used with judgment and skill.
Huh.
Okay, so no tobacco.
Yeah.
And back then, I think it was a lot of that. I mean, there was smoking for sure, but also like chewing and spitting tobacco. And my understanding was that was part of what prompted this. Was that Joseph's wife got tired of cleaning the tobacco spit off the floor, which I can totally understand.
Fair.
That's completely fair.
Gross.
Yeah, that's disgusting, actually.
Pick up your own spit.
Yeah, ew.
Or maybe just don't in someone's house on the floor.
Yeah.
A wee cup or something?
Something. Oh my God. That's nasty.
That's gross. Yeah, I heard that too, that's what prompted the baby Jesus to tell Joseph Smith to stop it, cut it out.
Yeah, so like nothing on the floor.
Yeah, like, oh God, they had to specify that from on high, no less. What's the cow thing?
I'm not really sure, actually. I feel like in our modern world, we've gotten a little far away from our means of food production.
Yeah.
I don't know if tobacco is something that, I mean, clearly it was used in some capacity with cattle back then. I don't know if that's something that's still used or if that was just a weird folk remedy or what. Sorry, I didn't look that one up.
Oh, no, veterinarian listeners, let us know.
Yeah, please.
Do you treat cows with tobacco still?
Yeah.
I don't. Did it mention, were the bruises on the cow or people? Did it mention bruises? Am I inventing that?
Yeah, no, you're not inventing that. It says an herb for bruises and all sick cattle.
Huh. Bruises on a cow? Can a cow get bruises? I don't even know.
Definitely they can get bruises. But it says bruises and all sick cattle. But then it also says tobacco is not for the body. So maybe bruises on not people?
Cows? That seems real specific.
I know, right?
When the cow gets a bruise, you can use it, but otherwise, that's so weird.
That's really weird. It sounds like probably something that's been debunked,
Yeah.
is my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's an old-timey veterinary thing, right?
Wow. So interesting. I love dissecting it like this.
I do too. This is fun, actually. I also read that tobacco was used after this Word of Wisdom. It was used after the patriarch and the Brigham Young thing, even by some Mormons, not all.
Yeah.
But certainly there was still people that smoked cigars, including Joseph Smith. He used to walk down the streets of Nauvoo smoking a cigar. Apparently.
Damn.
Yeah, and in his hotel.
What a hustler.
Totally. Yeah, everybody was in there smoking cigars and stuff.
Wow.
So again, the Riz.
Oh my God. I love that phrase. Well, and I'm going to draw in the gender component here.
Jeez.
Because a lot of ladies don't smoke cigars. Right. So I'm assuming that the men's was having a good time here. And so when they're saying, well, not everybody lived it, in other words, the women were most likely living it. Now, that's conjecture on my part, but I'm trying to read between the lines.
No, I think there's actually a really good point there, because reading a little bit about this and how like spottily, if at all, it was applied in the 1800s, they did talk a lot about men drinking beer and using tobacco and women drinking coffee. Although men would as well, but like the focus there, like the hot drinks focus was more on the ladies, and the tobacco and alcohol focus was more on the men's.
Interesting. Huh. That's very interesting.
Isn't it? Yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of it, but you definitely see that, like these old quotes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they call them out like in a gendered way.
Yes. Wow. Okay. So the men's was going to the bar, Brigham's bar, Brigham's Inn, and the ladies were just enjoying a wee nice cup of coffee in the morning by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting, huh?
These things have never occurred to me previously.
It's kind of cool to dive into the history a little bit, isn't it?
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Okay, well, I just wanted to say about tobacco, since we were talking about like health, tobacco is definitely very unhealthy. Okay, so smoking, we all know, is not good for you. There are many, many carcinogenic components in a cigarette or a cigar, vaping, etc. Like none of this is great. Tobacco use is a pretty leading cause of cancer worldwide. It's also linked to things like heart disease and stroke and other pulmonary diseases. It's really pretty bad for every organ system.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty clear. However, because biology is fucking messy, it's not a completely one-sided story. So it turns out that nicotine specifically is actually neuroprotective.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so nicotine use, and you kind of have to separate it out. You have to be taking like essentially just nicotine because, again, that stuff in tobacco is really bad. But nicotine actually is associated with a decreased risk of degenerative neurological diseases. So Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and other dementias. Okay, and there's a pretty clear inverse correlation between nicotine use and these neurodegenerative diseases.
That's wild.
Yeah, and it's also possible, like there's a correlation with improved cognitive function in nicotine use.
Oh my God, I need all the patches. I'm like, cover my body.
Isn't that crazy?
Get me some of those quitting patches. Wow.
Yeah, it turns out that it probably helps prevent plaque formation, like in Alzheimer's and some of these dementias. I used to have, when I was in my PhD, there was a professor that I took a class from, and I just kind of knew of it. He studied nicotine and nicotinic receptors.
Yeah.
And he used to always say in class, he was like, everybody starts smoking when you're 60.
Oh my God.
Isn't that hilarious?
That is hilarious.
Yeah, he's like, because it's good for your brain, but you don't want to start now. He's like, don't start too early because then you're going to get the lung cancer.
Yes, that's going to be the bad part.
He's like, you won't get to like the Alzheimer's part of it.
Wow.
But he's like, yeah, you should start smoking when you're 60.
We're getting close to starting our smoking habit.
That makes me want to cry.
Well, also, I mean, when I say close, it's a decade, but that's, that's not close. But how then, from like a sciencey perspective, have we not come up with a way to extract that good part and like consume it recreationally?
That's a good question.
Like take the bad part of the tobacco out, but like, because I understand like the ritual, that's not a good word, but or practice of smoking. Like, I feel so French when I see it happen. It's like when you're in France, you almost feel like you should have a cigarette and it wouldn't even be bad for you there. That's how I feel about wine when I'm there. But, I wonder why they haven't come up with that. I mean, what's the conspiracy theory brain is going to, they want you to die. But that's ridiculous. But, I wonder why.
Probably just capitalism hasn't found a way to exploit that sufficiently yet.
Yeah, fair.
But don't worry, it'll happen.
It'll come.
Maybe that's another business we should start.
Oh my God, yes.
You can add it to your portfolio of successful businesses.
Multi-million-dollar ideas on the show.
Hey, we live in Utah. This is the home of supplements.
Yes.
If we sell it as a supplement with no explicit health claims, then we're exempt from FDA approval,
right? Oh my God, let's do it. Let's start a wee pyramid scheme too.
Yeah, we have to make it MLM.
Multi-level marketing, yeah.
Maybe Justin Rose could help us with that.
Hey, Justin, we need a Word of Wisdom approved nicotine patch to prevent us all declining neurologically as adults.
Hey, the Word of Wisdom doesn't mention nicotine. It says tobacco.
Yeah.
And if you're not using tobacco, it should be fine, right?
I think so. Wow. You're striking gold today, Mel. I love this. You're getting all the workarounds. I love it.
Woo. All right. Do you have anything else to say about tobacco? Have you ever smoked?
I wasn't what I would consider a smoker, but I mean, definitely as a teen, I thought it would, it made me look cool, which it didn't. And then my basketball coach shouted at me and said, "You can't be doing that." I was like, "Brother, I am not a high performing athlete, but okay."
You're like, it's not going to matter for my level of athletic prowess.
Yeah. Like we are a very minor team, but I appreciate your concern. Yeah, also, I thought he was hot, so I stopped.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I've never been a smoker. Like I have smoked a cigarette here and there, usually after a drink or two. I'm like, it might be fun to have a cigarette. It's like a little craving, but it turns out that people just genetically fall into a few categories. Like some people get a little smoker's high. Right.
Wow.
And so there's an instant reward that comes from smoking a cigarette. Like they just get a little feeling of euphoria.
Yeah.
And it feels good. I'm not one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's just like at the bar, it seems like it would be fun to have something to put in my mouth.
Mel, we could find you other things that wouldn't damage your lungs.
Well, we'll get to the meat part later.
Oh my God, I love it.
So funny.
That's amazing.
But I don't get that.
You didn't like it too much.
I don't like it that much.
Yeah.
And some people just have no response at all.
Yes.
And that seems to be a genetic thing.
Yeah. And I mean, you could look at lots of things, right? Like you try stuff and you're like, that's not for me. You just don't fancy it.
Yeah, for sure. But I find it really interesting because some people can get addicted pretty easily to smoking, and other people like me are just like, man, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But I do want to point out, that's not a virtue in me. That's by way of my genetic background, right? So I feel like some of the shame that we put on people for things like smoking, things like addiction, right? That's a disease. Things like high body weight, right?
Yeah.
This is the genetics plays a really big role in that.
Yeah.
And I feel like in America, we have this very virtuous, fat shaming culture, which isn't super biologically accurate, right?
That is an amazing point when you even compare it with the shade of the start of this, right? Like for the weakest among you. And there's this idea of weakness being associated with the need for something and, addiction. I know it's very complex and, you could argue lucky that you just didn't fancy it.
Oh, exactly. And you see
lucky genetics
totally. You see it when people talk about the homeless or our unhoused population.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of shade thrown that way. If they were just had more willpower or something like that. But the truth is, a lot of those people, there's a genetic component. There's also an environmental component of how they grew up. And so it's something we should be treating, first of all, with compassion, right?
Yeah.
But then probably secondly, from a more utilitarian perspective, right? It's not good for any of us to have a really big unhoused population.
Yeah.
But instead, we like to point fingers and just be like, oh, these people suck, instead of what has gone awry and how can we treat these human beings with compassion and respect in a way that could have a better outcome both for them and for all of us.
Right, because if I mean, compassion aside, my God, what crazy suggestion, especially associated with religion. But like, you know, if people are doing well, everybody's doing well, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's better for everybody, but treating it with that more scientific approach, shall we say? Because that's why I think even people within Mormonism hide things, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
shame.
There is that sort of genetic or biological component that's just, just pray harder to the baby Jesus and you won't want to do it. And that's not true.
It's not true.
Yeah.
And it's really, really damaging.
Yep.
And that comes into play with sexuality, right? Like when I was growing up, there was this idea you could just pray the gay away, right?
Yes.
And that is just patently not true, as we all know.
Yes. And then those terrible practices like the
conversion therapy.
Yes.
Oof.
Like, no.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
That's bad stuff.
Oof.
But it will fuck people up real bad. So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have to pray again to get your mental illness taken away.
Oh,
so
those poor people. All right. Well,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a little bit of a digression
yes.
there.
It's so unlike us.
I know. Yeah, usually we never go off on
No.
tangents.
It's all connected.
All right. So let's move on to our next piece. So verse 9. And again, hot drinks are not for the body or belly. I feel like we could spend a lot of time here.
Oh, yeah.
Because by hot drinks, Mormons specifically mean coffee and tea.
And does it say coffee and tea?
It does not.
It just says hot drinks.
It only says hot drinks.
There's no asterisk that says hot cocoa is allowed.
No, but hot cocoa is allowed.
Oh, it's encouraged.
It's encouraged. And as we said a little earlier, herbal teas are understood by most Mormons to be just fine.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think that's been clarified. Like, I think you had the LDS.org page up, but I think it's very official that this means specifically coffee and tea. And it means it whether it's hot or not. So iced coffee is not a loophole. You cannot be drinking iced coffee or iced tea, by the way.
Damn it. Yeah. Well, and back to our earlier point about some people taking it to level 20, I remember discovering kombucha.
Ooh,
the booch.
The booch.
I feel like just such a ridiculous middle-aged lady saying this, but I remember discovering the booch about probably almost 20 years ago, 15 maybe, and enjoying it very much for the health benefits, your gut, and the effervescent nature, or just as a nice drink. And someone in church told me I couldn't drink it because the SCOBY but I don't even think it does. There's sometimes tea, black tea in, but I don't even know how accurate that is, to be completely honest. And I was like, I cannot give up my kombucha. And one of the gateway to our entire family leaving the church was chai tea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because we apparently, with the asterisk that isn't actually there, it was also deemed bad.
Yeah, I don't know exactly, but chai tea is tea, right?
Yeah.
That just has the nice spices and everything.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
It's so good.
I love it.
Yeah. But it's just so, who is saying this? Who is deeming you can't have the booch, but you can have hot cocoa?
Right. That seems like an extra, I don't know, vigilant Mormon,
right?
Because that's not, I've never heard that kombucha is prohibited.
Yeah.
I could see why, people are oh, it's probably more that's an unfamiliar thing I don't understand. It's
Get it away from me. Yeah. I don't like it. Do you do yoga? Oh my God. Yeah. It's not a hot drink.
No, it's not a hot drink.
But hot cocoa is.
Hot cocoa is, but iced coffee isn't. I say as I take a sip of my iced coffee right now.
Sinner.
Yeah.
I would take a sip of mine, except I always seem to get a mocha because apparently with an Irish accent, when you say iced oat milk latte, it sounds like mocha.
Wow.
I know. So I can't take a sip anymore because my belly is starting to hurt with all the chocolatey, gross.
Ugh. Do you want some of mine?
Oh, you're so sweet. I'm all good. Thank you, though.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll just sit and sin here with, where did the specifics come from? I don't know that there was after the Doctrine and Covenants, a future revelation, right?
There wasn't a future revelation, but it was clarified officially by the church to mean coffee and tea.
Huh.
Yeah. And it's actually, though, interesting because I think when it first came out, this was part of a strand in American culture where it was thought that hot things were damaging to your stomach. And not coffee and tea, but just anything hot, like including soup.
Oh, wow.
You wouldn't want to drink that hot because it could damage your stomach and cause ulcers. That was the idea. We know now that that is false, but Joseph Smith, along with many other people at the time, thought that hot drinks were bad for your health.
Wow.
And it turns out they're not.
Okay.
At least like the heat doesn't really have anything.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you don't want to like drink something that's going to burn you.
Right.
But if it's less sub-burning temperatures, it doesn't damage your stomach.
Wow.
And it also doesn't cause ulcers. And actually ulcers, can I just go on a tiny tangent?
Yes,
about ulcers?
I love this.
So there's another idea, and it persists today actually, that ulcers are due to stress or potentially eating spicy foods. And it turns out that's not really the case either. So chili chicken is all good.
White wine or not.
Yeah, white wine or not. It turns out that generally gastric ulcers are caused by a bacterium. It's called Helicobacter pylori. And it's pretty common. About half of people are actually infected with it, but a lot of times it's asymptomatic. Okay, but if there is maybe damage to the stomach lining or whatever, they can get in there and then actually dissolve all the mucus that is protecting your stomach cells, that coat the stomach cells, and then start to like dig into the cells themselves. And that causes an ulcer, and it can be associated down the road with cancer.
So do people typically only know they have that when an ulcer happens and they kind of work backwards?
Yeah, I mean, ulcers hurt,
but
this was actually a controversial idea in science for a while, and we got to give a shout out to Dr. Barry Marshall. So
who's he?
He was an Australian microbiologist. He was working on Helicobacter pylori, and he published a paper on it saying this is actually what causes ulcers in the early 80s. And the scientific community was like, no, it doesn't. You're stupid. And it was like made fun of. Everybody was like laughing at it. And he was like, no, like I have the evidence. And it was in the paper, but people just dismissed it because, again, the dominant idea was that it was like stress or like spicy food or some other thing. And so he was finally like, okay, fuckers. Watch this, right? Hold my beer. He was Australian, right? Hold my beer. I can't really do that accent. So what he did was he took a beaker of Helicobacter pylori culture and he drank it.
Oh my God. He took one for the team of humanity.
Yeah, for science.
Wow.
Yeah, and within 10 days, he had ulcers.
Wow.
And so that actually demonstrated to everyone that this was the causative agent for at least many gastric ulcers. He eventually won the Nobel Prize, I believe.
Good.
I know.
Dude deserves that.
Right? Yeah.
Holy crap. Live subjects.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. And actually you can, you get around ethics boards if you're experimenting on yourself. You don't have to get permission for that.
No IRB approval needed.
No IRB approval needed.
Wow. Oh my God. See, I love hearing sciencey things from you. In fact, I like trust you, I think, more than any other source because I'm like, Melissa Rella knows her shit. And like, it's funny in talking about this, thinking about all the health myths that are out there.
There's so many.
Like in terms of both prevention and consumption.
Absolutely.
You know, the things that people take into their body because they see an Instagram reel that it's good for them, or the things that you don't. I remember, no shade on my mother, because again, she was impacted by the things of the time. She told me that I would get stomach ulcers because I ate too much ketchup. And it was the vinegary component, because she's like, the vinegar aspect is not good for your belly. And again, she was acting with good intention. I'm sure that she just didn't want me to get ulcers, but like, that's so funny, the things that people have thought over time caused them.
And still think. There's so much misinformation out there. I would love to do a whole episode about this specifically.
Let's do it.
Okay.
On health myths.
I love it.
Because this is part of the Word of Wisdom.
It is.
You could argue that some things make sense and others are a giant myth.
Yes. Right. Like alcohol is not healthy for you.
Yeah.
Tobacco is not healthy for you.
Cool.
But now that we're talking about hot drinks and coffee and tea, it turns out that, well, let me caveat this first, because dietary science is hard.
Yeah.
Right? Because you've got a big human population. People are eating and drinking all kinds of different things. You can't generally take people and put them in a lab and control their diets, at least not for very long. You could maybe recruit college students and do that for a short amount of time, but you can't lock people away for their whole lives and control everything they eat and drink. So data is always noisy. It's pretty hard to make sense of sometimes. Sometimes you have correlations that might seem like causations, but they're not. It's just two things that go together because of some different third factor that maybe you're not thinking of. Also, people genetically are different, right? A lot of our health information comes from doing experiments on young, healthy, white, 20-something males.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Right? And it turns out that although some things are generalizable to everyone, other things are not.
Right.
And there is a genetic background component as well for a lot of these things. So with all that being said, coffee is correlated with, and I want to be careful to say correlated, not causative.
Causative. That's a word, right?
It is correlated with drinking coffee regularly, correlated with a lower risk of Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndromes in general, kidney disease, liver disease, and gallstones and kidney stones. So coffee, it turns out, is probably, now again, probably because of the caveat, it's probably healthy for you.
Wow.
It's also correlated with lower rates of depression in some studies, not all studies.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. Like drinking
coffee.
3 cups of coffee a day is also linked to a lower risk of stroke and cardiovascular disease.
Wow.
So coffee seems to be at minimum neutral and best case scenario quite healthy.
So not bad for you in the way that we were raised, say, in the Mormon church. Like I was made to believe that coffee was like evil.
Yeah, me too. And
like
it turns
bad.
out it's not bad for you at all. Now with anything, you can overuse it.
Of course.
So if you're drinking more than 5 cups of coffee a day, that's actually probably not healthy. You're speeding up your heart, right? It can cause anxiety. Some people, it causes anxiety at lower doses, right? Because again, we're not genetically all the same. So they're, different people are going to tolerate it differently. But in general, drinking a few cups of coffee a day is probably just fine, if not beneficial for you.
Interesting. Maybe somebody needs to have a wee revelation sometime soon because I'm dying to know where soda fits into all of this.
Ooh, let's get to that in a minute. But I'll just say like one more thing about coffee. Actually, 2 more things about coffee. And one of them I think you're really going to like. So first of all, coffee is not even contraindicated when you're pregnant. They just say to limit it, but you can still drink a cup of coffee a day and that's considered to be just fine.
And I mean, that would be true of like drinking too much of a caffeinated beverage, period.
Yeah.
Like limit your monsters.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, maybe just don't at all. But you know what I mean? Like there's no rationale for any other component of coffee
to. It's certainly not linked to any sort of birth defect or any like risks in pregnancy. It's just like keep it like limited. Don't drink 5 cups of coffee a day. Maybe 1.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I didn't drink a lot of coffee when I was pregnant because I just didn't want it. My body was like, it didn't want a lot of things.
Yeah.
It wanted sugar and red meat.
Yeah.
And it did not want alcohol at all.
That's handy, actually.
Yeah, it was really nice. That's actually how I knew I was pregnant. Like,
my goodness.
Was offered a drink and I was like, I want to throw up. Like, I don't want that. And I was like, oh, I'm probably just sick. And then I, that was in Alaska. And then I got home and I was at Whole Foods and I was walking by the fish aisle and there was a big salmon fillet. And I looked at it and I almost threw up in my grocery cart. And I was like, whoa, fuck, I'm pregnant.
You were like, something is different.
Like, I don't want to drink and looking at fish makes me want to throw up.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was pregnant and like, that's good. Thank you, body.
Yeah.
Thank you for rejecting alcohol while I was incubating a little fetus.
That is amazing. And I also think that leans into self-trust, which is not encouraged in the Mormon faith.
True. That's a really good point.
Because your body will actually tell you, and this will definitely come up again in future episodes, I know this, like I really do believe that we feel things in our body. People are like, no, it's in your head first. It's the other way around. And if we lent into that trust and if we listen to our body instead of the Holy Spirit, like, then maybe we'd all be in a good spot.
We'd probably be in a better spot. For
sure. And the regulation around dietary stuff or consumption of things, we could all pretty much manage that too. We had a family doctor when I was young that I'm grateful for. he would always tell my mom, like, don't even limit goodies. He's like, because you have to give children an opportunity to learn self-regulation and intuitive eating. And he's like, so if they don't want to finish their dinner, don't force it. If they want to eat cake, let them eat cake. Let them eat cake. But, you know, in the 70s and 80s, that was pretty daring.
It was. Yeah. But actually, that reminds me of a story I was telling my son the other day of growing up in the Mormon church. And there was this family that had, I think, like 9 kids. And they were not allowed to eat sugar.
Wow.
Their parents restricted that from them. And so these were the kids that were literally digging through the garbage at church when we had cake or other goodies to like lick people's plates because they were so sugar starved.
Oh my God. Wow.
Isn't that wild?
That is sad and wild and crazy all at once.
So sad.
Yeah. You don't get the opportunity to flex that self-trust muscle much.
No. And so then when you're not like with your parents, or we see it with some ex-Mormons, when you've decided you're not part of the church anymore, some people just go crazy.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, oh, now I can drink coffee.
Yeah.
Now I can drink alcohol. They start developing an alcohol problem. Like they just go way off the deep end in a lot of things because they've never learned that self-regulation.
Yes.
You're so right.
My God, that's wild. And your wee body was just there going, okay, we're doing this now.
Like, we're not drinking. That's disgusting. I don't want it.
I love that. I love that.
Also, I wanted to say when I was researching the history, there were general authorities that thought that pork was the worst thing than coffee before 1900.
And like scientifically, we know that's true now, right?
Yep. We're going to get into the meat in a minute. But yeah, they're
wow.
They were onto something there. Tea is a similar story. So tea is a pretty rich source of chemicals called flavonoids. They're also associated with a lower risk of cancer and cardiovascular disease.
Wow.
So it turns out that tea, probably specifically green tea, well, not specifically because black tea is good too.
Yeah.
But like maybe even more so with green tea.
Yeah.
Is probably quite good for you.
Oh my God. I drink a lot of green tea. That's like my wee go-to work drink. So that I don't drink 10 cups of coffee a day. I have 10 cups of green tea with lemon juice, which I started to panic about the enamel on my teeth because I was having large volumes of lemon juice. But, you know, wow, that's good. All Irish people will be fine because they drink about 10 cups of black tea a day.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, don't stop.
Yeah,
it's
keep
probably
going.
Good for you. No health risks that we know about with tea.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is just all so interesting.
All right, shall we get into the dirty sodas?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
What does the Word of Wisdom say about them?
Well, it doesn't say anything about sodas.
What?
Or cold drinks, by the way. Actually, that reminds me of that old joke. Do you know this one? What's the difference between a Mormon and a non-Mormon?
What?
The temperature of their caffeine.
Oh, my God. I've never heard that. That's so accurate, though.
Right?
Wow.
Although when I was growing up, there were like kind of 2 raging camps in the church. Maybe you had it in Ireland, too. I'm not sure. Where some people would drink caffeinated soda and some people wouldn't.
So this is super interesting because when I was growing up in the church in Ireland, it was specific to Coke.
Oh, just Coke?
Just Coke.
But Pepsi was okay.
No, sorry. Yes, like colas. So it was a caffeine. It was identified as a caffeine component. And so it was cola specifically. We didn't have like, is there caffeine in Dr. Pepper root beer?
Yes. Dr. Pepper, yes. Root beer,
okay.
No.
Because
actually some root beer, yes, I think, but most of it, no.
We didn't have a smorgasbord of sodas. We basically had 7-Up, like Fanta, and Coca-Cola and like Pepsi, like the sort of the bare minimum, like orange, lemon, lime, cola.
Yeah.
And so the other ones were not prohibited. And I remember specifically my mom thought she had struck gold because there was this brand called One Cal or something. I guess like early diet sodas. And this cola had no caffeine in it. And so I can remember being at a church function and drinking a can and they were like, you're not allowed to drink Coke. And I was like, no, it's got no caffeine in it. Look, it says on the can. Like, and that's what it was centered on. And it makes it so interesting now because like, has that just like the Men in Black thing been erased from people's brains?
I mean, I kind of feel like it has. when I went to BYU, they didn't have any caffeinated soda that was sold on campus.
Really?
So they had caffeine-free Diet Coke that was available,
Yeah.
but only the caffeine-free version.
Huh.
And a lot of people at BYU were like pretty anal about that.
Yeah.
I would say they're like, yeah, you can't drink caffeine. But I grew up drinking Dr. Pepper because my parents were caffeine is fine if it's in soda.
Interesting.
Like family.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it was a big debate and people used to argue about it in church. And now I feel like that's mostly gone away. Maybe
It's gone?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been out of the club for a while now, but like the club, but like with the proliferation of the Mormon sodas and Diet Coke specifically, that nobody is ever specifying it's caffeine. Like that argument. Sorry, I don't finish sentences sometimes. Caffeine free. I'll pedal back. It just seems like a non-argument because also Monster is a big thing. I remember my ward that I had here in America, when they went to boys camp, they would bring cases of Monster.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty highly caffeinated,
yes.
right?
So clearly it's not really about the caffeine anymore.
Yeah, I guess not. That's just kind of gone away.
Did the baby Jesus come and say that? Like, how did this happen?
Well, I think the Mormon Church maybe never officially said that caffeine was bad. Like, I think there were some maybe Mormon general authorities that might have said it here and there, but it was never like set down as an actual doctrine thing. So it was kind of left open to interpret. And some people, of course, virtue signaled more. And some people were like, well, it's not official, so I can drink all the Coke I want. And that's just kind of what it was.
Kind of like the original Word of Wisdom.
Indeed. Bringing it full circle. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, for it to be institutionalized, though, on like a level of BYU, not having that, you know what I mean? Like that was pretty kind of in there, and then it just like disappeared.
It's interesting, right? Because like they didn't, I don't know, make that a condition of being at BYU that you didn't drink caffeinated sodas. They simply did not sell them on campus. Yeah. Right?
So it's like this weird.
It's kind of a gray area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. And I mean, it is not mentioned. The word caffeine is not mentioned on LDS.org.
Yeah, that's such an interesting thing. I think I feel like they've rebranded it a little bit to say, well, this is just a way of like showing devotion to like God or your religion. And sort of taking the health bits out. Like when I grew up, they would talk all about the health benefits and how, like you said, like how bad caffeine and or how bad coffee and tea were. Yeah. And then like all the research shows that's not true. And so now they've stepped away from that and they're like, oh, it's just a way like to show religious devotion. Wow. That's a great mind fuck right there.
It's a little pivot.
Little pivot.
Jedi mind trick. Well, and because we know that like soda isn't the greatest, like with artificial sweeteners and but now it's okay.
Yeah, although aspartame, it's not maybe great for you, but to go over the limit of what is considered by the FDA, which who knows, to be unhealthy, you have to drink about 20 Diet Cokes a day.
Interesting. So, which probably some people do.
Some people probably do. So maybe that's a little too much aspartame, but if you're worried about having a Diet Coke now and then, you're
fine.
It's probably just fine.
Oh my God. Right? My mind's being blown so many times today.
I love that.
Wow.
All right. Anything else you want to say about soda, caffeine, coffee, tea, hot chocolate?
It's just so weird.
Yeah.
Like it's just such a weird prescribing of something not real. I don't know. Like you say, you can't have those things where there's at least, a correlation with a benefit, but the other stuff is free game. Like, just.
Oh, I thought of one more thing I want to say.
Oh, yes, what?
About the tea. So remember how I said that, like, when the Mormons fled the United States, they were, like, trying to cut their dependence on the East?
Yeah.
Like, even once they were reabsorbed into the U.S., they were trying not to, like, trade with the East Coast. And so one thing that they tried to do was come up with a tea alternative.
Ooh.
Right? Because, like, again, it wasn't being strictly applied in the 1800s at all. So people were drinking tea and, like, postum is, like, a beverage that a lot of older Mormons, like, even my grandmother would drink. But there's also this thing called Mormon tea. Have you heard of that?
No.
Oh, okay. So this is really interesting. So this is a tea that's brewed from a plant that is all over southern Utah. It's really, really common. And the genus name of the plant is ephedra. And you boil that and drink it. And I've heard it's really gross. I haven't tried it. But it will give you a fucking jolt because the name ephedra, like this contains ephedrine. So
oh my God.
Real strong stimulant.
So like, that's really interesting.
Right?
Because it's gross, right? You're not like, a lot of the reason we drink these beverages is because they taste good.
Yeah.
It's nice. Like, it's just yummy.
Right.
But to drink something gross that has an effect is, wow.
Yeah, you're doing that just for the stimulant.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a stronger stimulant than caffeine and probably isn't nearly as healthy.
Oh my God, we gotta get to the desert and boil ourselves some Mormon tea.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to find. It's like it grows all over the southern deserts.
God. We'll do it and return and report.
All right, a little experiment.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to the next section because we are, oh my God, we're running long, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Stick with it.
Important things.
Yes, important things. Okay, so back to our Doctrine and Covenants, verse 10. I'm just going to read like 3 or 4 in a row, and then we'll get to this. Okay, so 10. And again, verily I say unto you, all wholesome herbs God hath ordained for the constitution, nature, and use of man. 11. Every herb in the season thereof, and every fruit in the season thereof, all these to be used with prudence and thanksgiving. 12. Yea, flesh also of beasts and of the fowls of the air, I the Lord have ordained for the use of man with thanksgiving. Nevertheless, they are to be used sparingly.
What?
13. And it is pleasing unto me that they should not be used only in times of winter or of cold or famine.
Wow.
So should we talk about meat?
I think we should. That sounds to me like no burgers in summer.
Yeah, no cookouts, no Pioneer Day burgers and brats.
Interesting. So I feel personally that this is one of the areas that gets really overlooked, and it speaks a little to my neuroses, quite honestly, because before they used to make the members clean the church, I cleaned the church.
Oh, that's right.
Which we may have mentioned before. With my wee kiddos. And when I was actually pregnant with my son, I found a book in the bishop's office, and I was like, can I have this? And he's like, sure. And it was someone making the argument that Mormons actually should be very close to being vegetarian.
I mean, that's what I just read.
Yeah. And I was like, wait, what? So again, being my little compulsive self, I was like, well, I must become a vegetarian again. I had been one previously in my teen years, quite honestly, mostly because of the Smiths and Morrissey. If I'm honest, the Meat is Murder album. Yeah. So I read this book and I was like, oh my God, meat is so bad for you. So actually it wasn't like a virtue thing. It was more like, they provide evidence, well, slanted evidence, obviously. They're like, this is bad for you, this is bad for you. And I was just like, I think with the, combined thing of being pregnant and getting ick about things, I was like, I'm going to be a vegetarian again. And I have ever since for like 26 years now. But
that's amazing.
Well, it's just like, that is never talked about. I had never heard it highlighted at any stage before I read that book. And I was like, oh shit, that's actually in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not like wishy-washy either. It's like you shouldn't be eating it unless it's winter or it's cold or there's a famine.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I was never really, that was totally de-emphasized.
Yes. It's not like we read the Word of Wisdom from the scriptures a lot. It was more like a lore.
Yeah, because they were always reading out of like the manual. It wasn't necessarily the scriptures.
Yes.
You might open your scriptures and read like a selected verse or two.
Right.
But I don't really remember ever like going through verse by verse and like talking about
it.
It was just prepackaged.
Yes. But definitely not the meat, because I feel like meat features heavily in Mormon culture and eating.
Oh, yeah. I feel like they eat maybe even, I don't have any statistics to back this up, but maybe even more meat than people generally.
I get those vibes.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, what do you know?
Right. And I think now I personally am not a vegetarian, but I think there's a lot of really legitimate reasons to avoid meat. Like you said, the meat is murder. Okay. So the way that animals are treated, particularly in a factory farming situation, is frankly abhorrent.
Yeah.
It is just a horror show. And I'm I don't need to say a lot more about that, but it is just absolutely horrific, the treatment of these living beings. Secondly, there is a really good environmental reason to eat less meat as a society.
Yeah.
Okay, the amount of land and resources that we turn over to meat production and growing food for meat animals is a pretty leading cause of things like deforestation.
Wow.
And erosion and stuff like that. And if we all ate lower on the food chain, then we could support more people in a sort of better standard of living on this planet. So that is true for sure as well. And then thirdly, since we've been talking about health this whole time, once again, let's say correlation, just to like be clear, but eating a lot of red meat or processed meat is correlated with an increased risk of cardiovascular disease as well as certain cancers, particularly colorectal cancer.
Yeah, because isn't there something about it, the way it digestion or it stays in your bowel for longer?
I think that's the hypothesis.
Not clued in on the science per se.
Well,
but
I'm not sure that we have like a completely causative mechanism, but like that correlation has been shown in pretty big studies.
And that's red meat only, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, there might be other research on fish and chicken. I'm not really sure. I mean, fish is a different story. You should avoid eating too much for the mercury, especially certain types of fish.
Yeah.
And also to avoid, collapsing our entire ocean ecosystem, which is happening, by the way.
Not good.
No.
Not good.
Yeah.
I did start eating fish. I may have to rethink that now.
Yeah, I think eating it sparingly is okay. Particularly, like, if you're worried about that, it's a really good idea to get the Monterey Aquarium seafood watch list. You probably already know about that, and just look at, like, the red, orange, green, or red, yellow, green, and just stick to the more green ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, because some of them are very laden with mercury.
Yeah. And they're also grading based on sustainability.
Yeah. That's, making good food choices for not just putting it into your body.
Yeah.
I love that you brought up that the sustainability of the fish and also the how much water and green and all of those things it takes to produce like a pound of beef.
It's really bad.
Is insane. And you know what's interesting as well is that I remembered as you were saying that the way I typically remember meat being framed within the context of the church was that they were put on this earth for our use, damn it.
Yeah, I remember that too, but I feel like, again, there's a couple strands in Mormonism, like a couple of camps, and one of them is, I think, the dominant and by far more widespread one that you just mentioned, which is like, oh, everything is just here for our use, so we can like fuck it up and that's fine. But I think there's another sort of scriptural reading, a camp, which says that, this is here for our benefit, but we also have the responsibility to be a good steward over it.
They leave that part out a lot.
Yeah, but actually that's
when denying climate change.
More supported scripturally than that first, like, oh, we can just fuck everything up and it's fine.
Consume.
Yeah, I personally don't think that like everything was made for us. Like that is not my view. But if you were gonna sort of go all in on the Mormon scriptures, I think it's more supported to be part of the second. Like we've been given something, but we have to use it responsibly.
And the selectivity is really interesting.
It's really interesting. Yeah. And kind of to bring it full circle, I think there is something that goes along with that first idea, which is that, well, we don't really need to think about conserving things or taking care of things because Jesus is coming back any day.
Oh yeah, that I've heard that argument often.
Yeah, so why not let species go extinct? Yeah, right? Like why not just fuck everything up?
My God,
it's horrible.
Yeah, I don't think that the baby Jesus would like that. I mean, I'm not trying to speak for him like the Mormons do, but like you would imagine it would be like you purchase a home and then you have another home, but you tell your kids, as in being humankind, and we're Jesus in this scenario, but like you're like, you can live there because I'm gonna sell it in 6 months, and so they just go, hey, let's go crazy and beat the shit out of this house. Like I would not be happy as the owner of that. So you would imagine as the perception of the baby Jesus as the owner of the world or creator, like I don't know that he would be on board.
That is such a good analogy. It's like, oh, let me just like shit all over this house and burn part of it down, and that's fine.
Because you're gonna be here, and it's all you're gonna cleanse it with fire anyway. Like more back to that like gross like
apocalyptic vision.
Yes.
Ew.
My God. Wow. Yeah, the meat part. That's interesting.
It's pretty wild.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow.
All right. Well. I mean, should I read the rest of it? That's kind of like the main thing. They talk a little bit about grain and fruit and that that's supposed to be used. And then at the end, it says that all saints who remember to keep and do these sayings, walking in obedience to these commandments, shall receive health in their navel and marrow to their bones, and shall find wisdom and great treasures of knowledge, even hidden treasures.
Ooh.
And shall run and not be weary, and shall walk and not faint. And I, the Lord, give them unto them a promise that the destroying angel shall pass by them as the children of Israel and not slay them. Amen. And that's the end of the chapter.
I almost said amen. Oh my God, the programming. Amen, sister. I know. Well, and I also feel like, you know, that's the part that always got me, because even now I'm a little bit neurotic health-wise in terms of like movement and food and alcohol and all that kind of thing. And I think that's where neurotic persons like myself, that got them, because I genuinely believed if I did it, then I'd just be well and I wouldn't die. And like, we're all going to die. But,
definitely.
You know, it's like, it just puts a wee worm in your head that like, okay, if I really do this, I'll be fine, which is not true. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think like we just talked about, some of these things are good for your health, like avoiding alcohol and tobacco, but others are not. And then I kind of wonder, like, what's the mental health toll of getting so wrapped up in this and being so scrupulous about, you know, doing all these things. I feel like religious scrupulosity is correlated with lower mental health outcomes.
100%. And that's a great word. I could never have said it as seamlessly as you did. That one.
Scrupulosity.
Scrupulosity.
See,
oh, I know.
Me too.
It is ridiculous that I still stumble over words at this age, but
no, it's not.
You
We
know,
all do that.
it's like saying the legislature. Yeah, that's a tricky one. I do think it's because my tongue is too big for my mouth. But anyway, that could have other skills. But question, does it say in there that vegetables and herbs and fruits and all that should be with prudence?
Yeah, let me go back. So it says every herb in the season thereof and every fruit in the season thereof, all these to be used with prudence and thanksgiving.
It is in there.
Yeah.
Because it was an LDS org, and I was like, what an interesting word.
It is.
Like, be prudent with your use of fruits and vegetables?
Yeah, I don't know if that means you should restrict it, but it's certainly telling you to watch out for something. I'm not really sure what.
That just was interesting. Like, I had no conclusions, but I was just like, what an interesting word. Like, Thanksgiving, again, alluding to being a steward of the earth and being grateful and all that. And, you know, that's just so interesting. And the wheat and the rice and the oats being the staff of life. And yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting that there's that seasonality component too.
Yeah.
Saying you should be eating in season, which we totally don't do in America, like at all. I mean, some people probably do, but they're a tiny minority.
And that's all related to climate change too, right?
Yeah.
Like if we ate seasonally, it would be better for the environment. And, you know, wow.
Crazy, right?
Huh. Well, this is a good lesson, I think, in really going back to the source, how we define source, just the primary document.
Yes.
You know, we'll get very academic here and be like, this primary document correlated with the interpretation and the lore. Like, it's just folklore at this point.
I mean, it's really interesting how it's changed over time and how some of this is like very much applied in the modern Mormon church and some isn't at all, like the meat. Yeah,
like, so should you go shame a Mormon when you see them eating a burger in summer now?
I'm going to go knock it out of their hands. Just
let's go to In-N-Out. We're going to In-N-Out in Centerville and we're going to be like, set it down, step away, sinner. Yeah.
Bad Mormon.
Oh my God. Bad Mormon. Oh my God. It's not just Heather Gay. It's all the burger eating Mormons.
If it's in the winter, it's okay.
Yeah. Or famine. Yeah.
Which we do not have here.
Nope.
In
not.
Utah, exactly.
Nope. Especially with all those big mills and grain storage units and
No shortage of calories here.
Nope. Definitely not. Well, wow. Woo. There you go. Wow, quite literally.
Yeah, wow.
Word of wisdom.
Well, this has been a journey.
It has.
If anyone's still listening, I hope that this was educational and enlightening. If you are not from the great state of Utah, or if you've never been Mormon, I bet you learned a little something today.
Yeah, I would say so, and maybe if you were, you have too, because I know I did.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely.
I mean, I kind of knew that it wasn't universally applied back in the day, but I didn't realize like how common it was to like drink beer, drink coffee, drink tea, all of that until the early 1900s.
And Brother Brigham's Bar.
Brother Brigham's Bar. That's hard to say. I barely spit that out.
Maybe I have skills in another linguistic direction. Yeah, there you go.
I feel like maybe your tongue skills should be taken advantage of more often.
Maybe I should put that on my profile.
Your dating profile?
Yeah.
I like it.
Unspecified tongue skills. Oh God, no. Let's not do that. Oh dear. Hilarious. On that note.
All right.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
Put your tongue in good things, people, Mormon or not.
Oh my God. Toss that salad, friends. Just kidding.
I meant food and meat, no meats.
Yeah,
but
me too.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Stay salty out there.
Stay salty, friends. We'll come back.
We'll come at you.
We'll come next time.
So there is a famine of sorts happening for me and Melissa. You can tell with all our Freudian slips. So there you go.
A definite famine.
Yes.
We need some meat. It's a time of famine. We need meat.
We need meat and people to come at us.
Send meat, friends. All right. Have a good week. And if you like this episode, please don't forget to give us a 5-star rating, leave us a review, follow us, or leave a comment. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.